The Billionaire's Proposition by Shadonna Richards. Narrated by L.W. Salinas. Chapter 1. "They can't get away with this," Carl Romero declared, slamming a copy of the Hills Times newspaper on the desk in the study at Romero Manor. His eyes were just as salted with the latest headline: "Party Playboy to join mayoral race. A joke." The shock of the morning headline struck him full force in the gut, like a steel bat to his flesh. A vein throbbed in his temple. Heat burned through his body while he processed the insulting jab towards him in the news. "I haven't even officially announced my intention to run yet," Carl finished. That was true, though he had spoken about it publicly before when interrogated by a reporter. He hadn't made an official announcement, but it seemed as if his dirty opponent in the upcoming race, Dayton Leachwood, was intent on having Carl's bridges burned before he had a chance to even cross it. Well, he'd be damned if he let that happen. The current mayor, Reuben Smith, was plagued by scandal and drug use lately, and the city of Mayberry was ready for a change in power. "Calm down, Carl," Tony, his grandfather and patriarch of the Romero dynasty, ordered. Tony was no stranger to conflicts. The widower had married his young nurse, Shelley, to the chagrin of his grandson, Antonio. But he loved his boys, and he'd be damned if they caved into pressure like this. The family had convened, once again, for a family meeting. This happened quite a bit. Though the Romeros were successful in various industries, they often gathered when urgent matters arose at the sprawling 16,000-square-foot luxury estate, with its breathtaking views of the hills of Mayberry Hill and its own winery and vineyard. They also never forgot that family came first in a crisis. "They want you to react this way. Don't play into their hands," Tony admonished. "Remember that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. That's what makes or breaks you." Not long ago, family members had convened in the same area of the mansion's luxurious study when Lucas was in hot water with a pregnancy claim from a woman he had allegedly dated. Zach, too, had been the center of undesired media attention when his ex-girlfriend threatened to sell a sex tape of their Vegas rendezvous in a blackmail attempt. Carl was the one to organize a team to dig up the location of said video recording. Never, in Carl's mind, would he have thought that he, too, would be the victim of harsh and defaming rumors. And now, right on the verge of his political career. Dios mío. "He's right, bro," Jules added. Not only was Jules Carl's ever-protective brother, he was also co-owner of their successful business, RM Fitness Centers. "Just do your stuff. Don't pay any attention to the haters." "The haters?" Anger flared through Carl's being. "That's easier said than done, Jules. The voters will be reading what those damn haters are saying about me." Carl leaned against the study desk at Romero Manor, his arms crossed over his chest. He was wearing a black suit with crisp white shirt and blue tie. How appropriate that he'd worn his dark suit today, since his mood was anything but bright. So what if he was a member of the most prominent family in the province? The Romero family, thanks to their wealthy real estate tycoon and philanthropist grandfather, was popular not just for its contribution to society, but also for the headlines the single Romero men often made. But it didn't start off that way. They had only met their famous grandfather in their teens, since their father didn't actually know his real dad, Tony. Before Tony had mentored them into self-made trendsetters in various industries, the boys had suffered the tragic loss of their mother, and their father lost his job, rendering them desperate and destitute. They'd lost their home and lived out of their father's minivan for a little while until the authorities stepped in. It wasn't all fun and games growing up, but the humility and difficulty during that period taught them to never forget where they came from. They knew in their hearts that a minor setback was a setup for a major comeback. And come back they did. Currently, Carl, along with his 6 brothers,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?